Good evening and welcome to
Monday Movie Madness with your host
Mel and Zim.
Zim, yeah.
Sorry, I usually say the and then you say Zim.
Yeah, I know.
We got confused today, I guess.
Is it recording?
It is. Everything
Okay.
worked, yeah. He's checking. I'm sure you heard him go, is it recording? Yeah, our sound is on.
Awesome.
It's recording. We're streaming.
Everything's working this week.
So far. Knock on wood. We have a new toy. We have this handy little stream deck with all of these beautiful shining buttons on it. So I can do things with just the click of a button instead of like click, 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 click with a mouse. So
Awesome.
I can just push buttons. But also it's the first time we're using it live. I tested all the buttons earlier, not live. So we'll see what happens. If anything goes wrong, like we'll fix it before next week. But
Yeah.
this is the test of the Stream Deck. So see if I did it right.
Yay.
It's working so far. 2 buttons down.
Hercules, Hercules.
That is not what we're doing, nor will we ever. This week we are discussing The Edge of 17.
We gotta do what movies we watched this week.
Second movie with Woody. Well, I guess it's technically the third because we had the crossover movie.
Are we not gonna do the movies we watched?
Yes, we can do the movie. I didn't watch any
Okay.
movies this week.
Oh,
I didn't even think about it. Here's the other stuff we did this week before we get into the show. Make it quick though.
Okay.
Be concise.
I watched Clerks animated series, kind of revisited that, and Dogma. Enjoyed that. Introduced my son to Ultraman. Totally cool. I saw the samurai kaiju monster movie, Daimajin. Awesome. It's like a samurai movie, the whole movie. And then they pray to this giant statue, and it comes to life and starts killing the bad guys. Oh, sweet. And then I watched a Japanese body horror movie called Tetsuo, about a guy who's obsessed with metal and starts turning into metal. It's kind of weird.
Well, I know. I turn into the things I'm obsessed with. So
Well,
it sounds perfectly normal.
It like wraps around him and becomes him, and yeah, it's weird.
Sounds weird.
And then I watched this one. I'm gonna go into a little bit, but not long. The Mcpherson Tapes. So in 1989, the very first found footage movie was made. It's called Alien Abduction, or now called the Mcpherson Tapes. It's got this really interesting story about the making of it. It was all filmed on a handheld VHS recorder. So it's not very good picture. The movie isn't great because it's just not. But the interesting story about it is the guy, after he made it, he got a distributor, and the master with all the copies were in a warehouse waiting to get distributed, and the warehouse burned down. And he was told everything was lost, so he lost it. 5 years later, it starts circulating as, with all the credits removed, circulating as actual footage of an abduction. And he's got to come in and say, no, I filmed this. This is my movie. And it's really a fascinating story about this little tiny, low budget shot on tape film. So cool. That was neat.
And
And what?
there's one more that you saw this week.
Well, The Edge of 17.
And
Oh, today I saw The Suicide Squad. I totally forgot about it. A hella good time. A lot of fun.
you were gone like half the day.
The best one of the 3 movies. I thought it was great. I never thought I'd see Starro the Conqueror in a movie. There he was. It was so cool. So
My turn?
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I watched anything this week.
You watched some of the Olympics,
A little bit?
and I watched the Olympics.
A tiny bit. I watched the Olympics for I watched the American BMX biker have a totally kick-ass run. And that's about it for Olympics for me this week. I watched like 10 minutes of bike.
That was this weekend. We're going all the way back to last week's show.
I know.
Okay.
What did I do this week?
Played video games?
I didn't, though. I mean, I did on the show, but other than that, no.
No, you were playing Smash Brothers in the mornings.
I play Smash Brothers in the morning because it keeps our children calm. It's a very strange thing, but they will both sit quietly and watch me play Smash Brothers. They don't even play. They just sit there and watch.
Yeah, lucky they make...
Amazing thing.
They want to play when I do it.
But what did I must have watched something this week.
I don't know.
I guess I didn't. I've been busy. We've been, I didn't watch anything with the kids. Did I watch something with it? That was last weekend that we did Harry Potter. So I said it last show.
Mm-hmm.
See, what did I watch with...
Doctor Who.
What did I do with... No. What did I do for Snuggle Nights? I guess my youngest, we started watching more Harry Potter because he was playing when we watched Prisoner of Azkaban. So he remembers a couple of key moments, but not the whole story. So we've been working through that. And then I watched Doctor Who with my oldest. She's still reading Divergent, and she was mad at me because I wouldn't let her watch the next movie, but I was like, you gotta slow down, kid. Like, we had to wait years between movies, so like a week between, I mean, you'll be fine. So yeah, we're still reading, so we watched a couple episodes of Doctor Who, and then we continued reading Divergent. And then yesterday, I guess, we introduced our youngest to Doctor Who. So he watched just the very, very first episode with the living plastic and Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper. And I don't remember the actress's name who plays Jackie.
Yeah, I don't either.
Mickey, Jackie, Rose, and Doctor Who, basically. Episode 1, right at the beginning, introducing everybody. He really liked it, but something about it, I think, bothered him. And so I told him, it's still going to be there. We can watch it when you're older. It's fine. You don't have to watch it right now. So
it's not like we don't own it.
It's not like we don't own it. I own everything up to Whittaker, don't I? Like I don't own Whittaker, but I have all the rest of it.
Of the modern series,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I have 3 Capaldi.
Have to watch it ever if he doesn't want to.
Yes, of course. I don't force my children to watch anything because that makes it miserable for me. Like,
I don't know if that'll stand with Star Wars. They'll have to watch it.
He really liked it. Like when I asked him when I thought of the episode, he was like, "It's great," and then spent all of dinner basically rehashing the entire episode for the rest of the family, all of whom have seen it. But he had to tell them like every step of the way, like what happened, and like the friend, and then he wasn't a friend anymore. Then he was plastic, but then he wasn't plastic, and then the doctor pulled his head off. There's a whole rundown of everything that happened in the episode. So like clearly he enjoyed it, but like I kind of get the sense that something made him feel uneasy, but I'm not sure he could even quite explain what.
Well, mannequins chasing you is creepy.
It wasn't the mannequins, though. I think it was the nesting consciousness, which is the big vat of molten goo that's all got like an angry face and is talking.
Well, you know,
I think that was it.
Bemler, the first kaiju that Ultraman faces in the very, very first Ultraman episode, scared Evangeline when he came up out of the water. She was like, "Hey," this was a couple years ago. When we first tried it.
That's not the look you're getting.
Oh. Okay. So, Elias laughed. He thought
my God!
What? Oh, shoot.
You're going to do both, really?
Yeah, sorry. So, our youngest, I had him watch it today, or this week, and he really...
You make video editing for YouTube so difficult.
Sorry.
Let me mark this so I remember to... deal with it.
Our youngest. Okay. No. Our youngest watched Ultraman this week, and our oldest was frightened by Bemler when he came out of the water. Our youngest, actually laughed instead and thought it was great.
Yeah,
So.
it was the same thing when we watched the first Harry Potter movie. Is she finds the end when Professor Quirrell is basically like turning to ash and screaming. She finds that very scary. Whereas our youngest thought it was hysterical. Just like the more he screamed and the more he turned to ash, the harder he laughed, and it was scary for me a little bit. But see, he told me last week that Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet didn't scare him. Tonight he told me it kind of did. Yeah. I think he has to have time to process, because right when the episode of Doctor Who was done, he was like, yes, that was awesome, I want to watch more. And then by the time dinner was over, he was kind of starting to be like, I don't know, like it sort of bothered me a little bit. I'm like, it's fine. We don't have to watch it right now. There's no rule that says you have to watch it right now. Let's wait a little while. Try it again. It's fine. There's lots of Doctor Who to watch and lots of time to watch it.
So my friend that I went to Suicide Squad with, we were talking about how the violence level, and I think that Mel will like the story and the comedy of Suicide Squad, but the violence level might be a little much for her, even though it's action violence. Because, like, their swords and stuff and limbs are flying and people get shot and, like, holes go through them. So, yeah, it's pretty explicit. But I was saying how, I see that and I laugh, and then she's like, that's creepy that you're laughing. And to me, if it were real, I obviously wouldn't be laughing, but it's not real, and so therefore it's supposed to be more like it's part of the gag, like part of the joke.
I would say typically, though, like action violence is usually okay.
Hi, M. Woodward.
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
Is that your sister?
I think so.
Are you who we think you are? Let us know. I don't know any other M. Woodwards. So I'm assuming it's her. Hello, Eve.
So?
M. Woodward 1111.
Yes.
Do you want us to call you by your name, or do you want us to call you M. Woodward? Choice is yours.
You must choose wisely.
Or a nickname if you have a nickname you'd like us to use. So yeah. This week we're talking about The Edge of 17. Which I had seen before, but you had not.
I had not. This one was first for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to do the top info or the director and
Well, the top
actors?
info doesn't have too much.
I know, but we usually split it that way. So
Okay.
which one do you want to do, top or bottom?
I don't care.
I mean, this is a mature stream, so the fact that you're laughing is okay. I feel like I tend to babble, so I'll do the short bit and you do the long bit.
Okay.
So this movie was released in 2016. Was it 2016? I thought it was 2017.
No, it said 2016.
2016. My memory is bad, apparently.
It may not have appeared on Netflix till 2017.
It's a Netflix film.
I know, but it did the independent or the film festivals circuit before, so it's going to count that as release.
It was nominated for 29 awards and won 8 of them, all at film festivals. So won a bunch of film festival awards.
Mostly for acting. The kids were new actors, and so yeah. It was directed by Kelly Freeman Craig. She is most known for The Edge of 17, which is her directorial debut. She wrote Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Post-grad...
She wrote the script for Are You There, God? It's
Yes,
Me,
yes,
Margaret.
yes. Sorry. Scriptwriter, yes, of course. And Intimate Strangers.
And post-grad, I talked over you when you said that.
Yeah, post-grad, yep. Of course, Woody Harrelson will cover later as our month's star, but he plays Mr. Bruner. Haley Steinfeld played Nadine. IMDb has her most known for the 2010 remake of True Grit, The Edge of 17, Bumblebee, and Pitch Perfect 3. I have not seen the third one yet.
Which is the reason I know her.
Okay.
I
knew
was
her
like,
from
why
Bumblebee.
do I know her?
Yeah.
Why do I know her? Because I haven't seen Bumblebee.
Yeah.
It's because I've seen all the Pitch Perfect movies.
Okay. She's the main character in Bumblebee. That's how I knew her. Haley Lou Richardson, who plays Krista. IMDb, most known for 5 Feet Apart, Columbus, The Edge of 17, and Split.
Cool. I've heard of one of those.
You've heard of Split because that's the M. Night Shyamalan movie you had a conniption over because it's not accurate on what split personalities are.
That does sound like me. Hey, J-Rig. I know who that is, too. You made it. Who do you know? J-Rig. Hey.
Hi.
Again, same for you. If you have something in particular you'd like us to call you other than J-Rig, let us know. We don't put names out there unless you let us. So, hey Trey!
Hi Trey! Wow, I think this is the biggest audience we've
I'm
had.
excited! Hey everyone!
All right, so I'm gonna keep going. Blake Jenner played Darian. IMDb has them most known for The Edge of 17, Everybody Wants Some, Glee, and American Animals.
Who was he in Glee?
I don't know. I didn't recognize the character's name. Kara Sedgwick plays Mona, the mom. I can call you whatever. Okay.
Oh, okay. So you're fine if we call you by your name then? Just to confirm.
No, they want to be called whatever. Hi, whatever.
Okay. Jenny's much easier for me because I'll do it accidentally anyway. So it's better if I just have permission.
All right. And then, okay, so Kara Sedgwick is best known for The Closer, The Woodsman, Phenomenon, and Something to Talk About. And then Hayden Zetto played Irwin. This was his first movie, The Edge of 17. It was also in Truth or Dare, Lodge 45, and apparently was a character on The Good Place. But I didn't recognize him from that.
I don't recognize him from that either. I saw that on here.
Yeah.
I'll look that one up too.
Yeah.
It's bugging me that I don't know who he is from Glee. He didn't come in until 2012, so I'm assuming he's part of a
So that was, what, last season? Second to last season?
No, I went through 2015.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of that show other than them covering pop music and the Christmas episode with Chewbacca in it.
He's in it with like the main cast, so he must have.
I don't remember him.
He does not appear to have been a very major character.
All right. Well, moving forward.
Okay, then the other one was. I know. Sorry. Hey, thanks for the follow. That was Trey, right? I gotta connect names to screen names.
Yes.
Thanks for the follow, Trey.
I know what his name means.
Okay.
Did you see that? He's gonna get frustrated with me saying this, but that
don't
Jodie Foster, the sci-fi movie
Contact.
He's obsessed with Contact.
That's because it's an amazing movie and everybody thinks so except for you.
I don't hate it. I'm just not a fan of Jodie Foster. Anyway, moving on. That's, I think, the planet from the movie.
I haven't seen that since it was
if
in
I
theaters.
remember correctly.
Any of this, but here for the fun. Well, we have lots of that, with or without you, so you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Vega is the planet.
Vega is the planet. Okay.
Is Inconium like the material they use to make the device, the machine? Because didn't they have like an alien mineral or something that they found, and that's what they were using?
I don't
to
remember.
create I'm trying to remember. I haven't seen it in so long.
Anyway, let's keep going.
I married somebody who doesn't like Jodie Foster, and so I don't get to...
Oh, Led Zeppelin. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I screwed that up.
Well, I'm still going to talk about Contact now because we went there. I married somebody who doesn't like Jodie Foster, so I never get to watch Jodie Foster movies.
I like a couple.
You don't like Silence of the Lambs, which is like
because it's horrible. It's boring.
It's not.
It is so slow.
It is so
How does any?
good.
It's like a cure for insomnia.
If my husband goes missing, you'll know that I ate his liver with some fava beans in a nice Chianti.
Okay, quote something else from the movie. Everyone knows that line.
Everyone does know that line. That's why it's the one I use. And I'd quote more, but I haven't seen the movie in like years because I can't even watch it without you passing through the room and going like, this movie's so boring.
So boring.
Like, can I just watch the movie? Thank you, Tegwin. We can watch it. Yeah, you should watch this movie. Let's get back on track. Edge of 17 is fantastic. I totally agree.
Okay.
Characterizations. Nadine is such an awkward teenager, and I love her.
I actually like... So, in this, she's kind of she's very awkward.
Very awkward. Has a not super realistic view of the world, like many teenagers.
Kind of, I wouldn't say a loner, but struggling to make those connections.
She's a loner, but she doesn't want to be a loner.
Yeah.
Like, not by choice. Because there are people that really prefer it. Like, I love not having an enormous group of friends. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm totally going to do one spoiler right now, but I know. Sorry, spoilers. She says...
What? Oh. I hit it. Hold on. There.
Okay. She says at one point, ever since I was little, I feel like I'm above myself looking down, and I hate what I see, and I'm scared that it's never going to change.
Yep.
And that line stuck with me because when I was her age, I felt probably the exact same way.
I think most people go through that. And I think you can tell the ones that didn't. Yeah. Because they're still like, high school was awesome! Glory days! And like most of us don't peak in high school.
What? High school was still awesome.
Let me turn off... How do I turn off the spoiler thing? I'm trying to remember. Did I make a turn off spoilers button? No, I did not.
Oh, yeah, you did. It's gone.
Cool. I think I just go back to the movie show button is what I decided worked. Look like you're on Blue's Clues. Do we?
Really?
Look like we're on Blue's Clues?
Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper.
I never watched Blue's Clues.
Oh, okay.
I was too old for it by a long shot.
Okay.
Because that came out when I was in like high school.
And
I did not have kids until my 30s. So
my oldest son was totally into Blue's Clues, so I know about Blue's Clues.
The kids at the preschool I worked at in high school.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Mail!
I don't even know how to get back on track after that. Nadine is I think she's a very relatable character for anybody who's ever gone through even just a period in their life of being unsure of yourself or not really sure like what to do with yourself. And I don't mean in terms of like, oh, I'm bored, what should I do? I mean like just not feeling like you fit in your skin, sort of. Which, I mean, this is also a mental health channel, so I'll take the opportunity to say it's a really, really common thing when people live with anxiety that they have this thing called Imposter Syndrome, where it's difficult to explain if you haven't experienced it, but essentially you just kind of feel like you don't fit where you are, or that like even people who like you don't actually like you, that they're just like being nice.
I actually thought that it was going when the movie first started and she was I guess it's past first started, but once her mom's out of town and Krista and Nadine are enjoying their night, I thought it was going to go a totally different direction. Because she was so awkward and feeling not right in her skin. I thought it was going to be an LGBTQ plus story, and then it didn't go that way. I was kind of shocked, and I liked the way it went, but I'm just I really felt that that's what they were setting up for, and then that's not the direction it goes at all.
Well, and I can get why that's the leap you took, because she's very connected to Krista.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like Krista is literally her only friend. And I mean literally her only friend. She has one, and it is Krista.
Uh-huh.
And so that she's very like dependent on her socially, and so they do kind of set it up in that way. I can see where you're making that leap, but I think also what they're trying to show you is you can be really, really close with somebody and tell them absolutely anything and be 100% comfortable with them, and it doesn't have to be romantic. And I actually really like that they didn't go that way, because I feel often in movies and in television, they take kind of the more typical storyline and the more typical, you know, pathway from here to there, and like, oh, well, they're really close, so obviously it's going to grow into something more. And the reality is it doesn't have to grow into something more. You can just be really, really freaking close to somebody.
Sure, absolutely.
And I really like that they didn't go that way. I wouldn't call it a healthy relationship necessarily.
Oh, not at all.
It gets there. But I also don't think that at this point, through most of the movie, Nadine is not really capable of a healthy relationship. Because it's cliche, but you have to at least love yourself a little bit to be able to genuinely love other people. Like, you have to love yourself. I mean, you don't have to like be like, oh, I'm amazing, and like be super proud of yourself and super confident. But you got to have at least some tiny amount of acceptance of yourself before you can have a healthy relationship with anybody else. Because otherwise you very much rely on them to give you that sensation, if that makes sense, of acceptance. And that's very much how their friendship is. She relies completely on Krista to make her feel good about herself and accepted and like she's somebody that matters. It's a lot of responsibility to put on Krista, and it's like building a house of cards. I mean, it doesn't take much to knock that over.
Right.
Which we could talk about more in spoilers. But I think that also hits Krista too. Krista's character, up until the point that House of Cards falls, her character is entirely support for Nadine.
Right.
Listening to Nadine talk. I mean, she makes a mistake, and literally the dialogue is her saying, I'm sorry, on repeat. There's not even other words. It's, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And it's like that, if you weren't sure if it was a healthy relationship, the fact that that happened was like, whoa, this relationship's got problems. And it is very one-sided. And I don't know if it had always been like that, because they do show kind of as they were kids growing up, and that they kind of helped each other through some things. But certainly by the time they hit this point, I think they're junior in high school. Juniors, yep. By the time it hit that point, it had definitely gone very one-sided. What about Darian? Darian's the brother, right?
Darian is Nadine's older brother.
I love his character so much. His character plays a really important role.
Yeah, I don't know how to discuss him more without spoilers. I do love the fact that he is totally underappreciated by both his mother and his sister.
The people that matter most in his life, yeah.
And he goes so far above and beyond for both of them on a daily basis.
Neither one of them recognize it.
Yeah.
I feel like really, I say his character plays a really important part, and that's because his character reminds you that people are more than what's on the surface. It's more than what you see. They're deeper. There's more going on behind closed doors. There's more going on than you're just going to see. So he seems very popular, and everybody likes him. He's got tons of friends, and she describes him early on as a winner. But there is so much more to his character, and we could talk about it more in spoilers. But yeah, that's why I feel like his character is super important. When we talk about Mr. Brenner as well, I think in a lot of ways they both kind of send that message of just the person that you see in your interactions with them is not the complete package. Like, there is more to everybody.
Right.
It's not a spoiler. Well, we have a section of the show, though, because we do put these up on YouTube. So we have we wait on the spoilers until the end so that we can just be like, all right, if you haven't seen it, like, from here on in, we're just going to spoil the hell out of everything.
We just totally unzip the fly and let it out.
Unzip the fly? Really? That's the expression you're going to use? It's not remotely crass.
Mona, she doesn't have much screen time, but I included her in the major characters because of how important she is. She is Nadine's mom. Mm-hmm. And
played by Kira Sedgwick. I'm a huge fan.
Really wrapped up in her own world and doesn't really attempt to get her own kids at all, even though she says so. But whenever there's an issue, they start to talk about whatever's wrong, and then she's like, oh, my night. Like, that's who she is.
Well, and I feel like because the story is basically Nadine's story. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of it is how the characters relate to Nadine. And I think Mona is sort of that projection of who Nadine is going to be as an adult. Because they're very alike. Mm-hmm. Very, very self-centered, and my problems are the biggest problems. And so I think it's sort of that, like, foreshadowing of this is who Nadine's going to be if she doesn't, like, turn course and start accepting other people. Yes, Tegwin, she's very self-involved. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. But I think at this point, like, Nadine is too at the beginning of the movie, and I think that Nadine grows, and unfortunately her mother is an adult and has had all that time to grow and is an awful lot like her 17-year-old daughter. And we can she does do something cool at the end, but at least I think it's cool. But I can't discuss that yet because that is a spoiler.
Yep. And then Irwin.
Talk about Irwin. Beautifully awkward. Yes. I love Irwin. Yes. Irwin is so... How do you describe him?
Awkward. I mean, he just can't even have a conversation because he's just like, did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry, I said that. Like, it's just like... Yeah, it's difficult to put it... Like, it's really difficult to describe without specific examples, but he's a very unique kind of awkward. Well, and played so well by...
He did an amazing job. Hayden
Zeto? He's Chinese background. I looked him up. First acting job, like, professionally. Nailed it. Out of the ballpark.
Yeah. I didn't know it was his first.
Yeah, he won at one of the film festivals that the movie played at. He won the Shining Star Award, which is new. Like, he won the award for new actor.
I'm interested to see him in some other things and see if he varies it up or if he just plays awkward.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see that. I'll have to look him up and watch something else. Find him on Good Place.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was in them. Track down his episodes and watch them.
Exactly. I love Good Place.
Me too. God, that's a season finale that makes you cry. It somehow leaves you still feeling so hopeful. I don't know how to talk about him without spoilers. We'll have to come back to Irwin later.
Okay. All right. So plot development, pacing, structure.
I don't think there's anything that really drags in it. I think they do a really nice balance of humor and comedy with the dramatic story, because the story is very, like, drama centered, but there's a lot of, like, sarcastic humor and just kind of, like, people being silly or doing really dumb things, but not, like, slapstick level of humor. But it's a nice balance. So you get, like, you were laughing a lot.
I already
knew. I'd seen it before, so I already knew all the jokes. But
yeah, think of if American Pie were serious.
That's a terrible description. That's horrible. Why? Because they're in high school, it's got to be American Pie?
I don't know, because I was trying to think of a teen comedy that... but more serious.
It's not like that
So-
level of comedy, though. It's just
No, that's what I'm saying.
That people are very like snarky and sarcastic, and because of that, it's entertaining. But it's all delivered in a very serious way.
Yes.
And it's just that the way that many of the characters express themselves is very like snarky. Like, for example, Woody Harrelson's character. If we want to go forward, you have more to say on this. Overall feel is I liked it, by the way. We usually say like, hey, how do you feel about this movie? Would you recommend it? Yes.
It's definitely a 3-part structure. I mean, you got the first section where they introduce all the main players. Second section,
shit hits the fan.
That House of Cards collapses.
Yep.
And then the third part,
Figuring
people
out how
redeem themselves.
Yep.
So
get past it and move on and be better. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a pretty traditional kind of...
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So, yeah, overall opinion, I really liked it. I would, if it was out of 5, whatever, toenails, I'd give it 4.5 toenails. I just said that because I saw my toes wiggling here.
That's right, guys. We rate movies by toenails. It's a thing. Look it up.
But it's got a great...
It's splashing on me when I...
It's got a great sense of humor. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry.
You cried?
No, I didn't cry.
But you are. Like, I didn't cry in this.
You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll kiss. $8 goodbye. No.
It's got touching moments and moments that you laugh.
There's heartfelt moments that...
I think it's memorable.
Yeah.
You've got some really memorable conversations, particularly between Nadine and Mr. Brunner. So I guess speaking of sarcastic sense of humor, let's move on to Mr. Brunner and our actor of the month.
Actor of the month, Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. I am enjoying watching Woody Harrelson movies this month. Are you?
I am. I can't wait for next week.
I'm still floored by last week's movie.
Yeah.
Where I saw like one of the most stunning performances I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It's going to be difficult to compare his roles this month because 3 Billboards set the bar so high that I don't, even though I know I love some of these movies, some of them I hadn't seen, like I hadn't seen this movie till now, but going into the month I'd seen a few of them and there's just no way. I'm going to tell you right now, I enjoy Solo, but there is no way Solo is ever coming close to 3 Billboards.
No, I don't even think it would come that close to this role either. I really liked him in this role, and it's hard for me to imagine anyone else playing Mr. Brunner so successfully, just because I think that his mannerisms and the way that he goes about it were really perfect for it. But before we get too far into that, let's hit IMDb's opinion on Woody Harrelson and what his most known roles are. According to them, he's most known for True Detective, The People vs. Larry Flint.
Good movie.
Natural Born Killers.
Good movie.
And Zombieland.
Funny.
And An Obsession for Twinkies. My own personal recommendations. You guys have finally seen one of them. I'm so happy. So Edge of 17 has been on my list from the beginning. Shock and Awe, which is actually... Let me try it again because I'm so southern that it says Shock and Awe.
Shock and Awe.
Shock and Awe. I can separate my words. I just choose not to. Which I had not seen until we watched it on this, but that was our kind of segue from Mila Jovovich to Woody Harrelson, and so I slapped that on my list because that's a really good movie. Hunger Games trilogy, I highly recommend. He does a wonderful job as Haymitch. And then 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Like I said, so good. Like I added that to my list last week. So it's amazing.
Yeah, my recommendations are still Natural Born Killers, White Men Can't Jump, Solo, A Star Wars Story. I know, but it's Star Wars, so it goes on the list. Game Change, which I was informed this week that HBO movies don't count. They do count.
Who said that?
Trey.
Why don't HBO movies count?
Because they're made for HBO and made for TV. I don't know.
But we count like Netflix movies and stuff like that.
He said he doesn't count HBO movies. If it is
not episodic, it is allowed on this show.
Well, but I count Cheers, so...
well, that's true. That's something that...
So, Game Change is an HBO movie. 3 Billboards I added because, wow. And then, of course, I have Cheers because Woody Boyd is just... I mean, how could you not love him? Such a
I guess you could not watch Cheers and then you just wouldn't know that you love him.
But if you watch Cheers, you will love him.
Yeah. If you watch Cheers, you would love Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers ran as long as it did for a reason. Yeah. It had a spinoff that was really successful for a reason. I know you didn't really like Frasier that much, right?
Yeah, I'm not a...
But it ran
Frasier
for a really
fan.
long time, too.
It did. Yeah. Okay, so you didn't see earlier episodes, but I have not seen No Country for Old Men yet because when it came out, I was at a point in my life that I needed to not watch anything else depressing because I was already on the verge, and so I never saw it, and I have not gone back. And I know that is a shame, but I just couldn't do it at the time, and I'll get there.
And it didn't make the list for this month. It's one of the ones we looked at.
Yeah.
But it did not, because it's only 1 month and there's so many options. So we wanted to kind of get a variety of like types of roles and stuff in there. So I know.
Yeah. Sad face.
He watches all the movies you give him. Just add it to your list next time you guys talk.
Yeah, we give each other a list each week.
Just add it to the list on Thursday. It'll be good. He didn't hear me say that, so he has no idea it's coming.
I'm sorry, what? So Mr. Bruner.
Very sarcastic. Mr. Bruner is my spirit animal.
It's a much smaller part than what we've dealt with so far this month.
But memorable.
Sure.
I think without his role, this movie would not.
Well, yeah, because he's her Yoda. I mean,
always have to describe everything in Star Wars.
He's her Spock? I don't know.
So basically, Mr. Bruner is the person she goes to every time she has a problem?
He's her Mr. Miyagi.
Jesus. So difficult to think when he gets going like this. What was he say? He's the person she goes to every time there is a problem or a crisis or any kind of drama. And we've all been teenagers because this is a mature channel and you have to be 18 to watch. So we've all been teenagers. We know it's nonstop drama. So she's always pestering him.
Yeah. About
everything. Like, literally, the first interaction you see between them is she's criticizing his lecture from the day before.
Yeah.
Because he said he said north instead of south.
Yeah.
He said the north seceded from the Union and meant to say the south seceded from the Union. And she just wanted to make sure he knew. And he's like, thank you for telling me and bringing that to my attention.
Yeah, he was like, thank you. I know that was a really long lecture. So, doesn't he say something like, did you happen during that lecture to ask yourself why people hate me? Or something like that?
Something like that. So he gives as good as he gets. Yeah.
So, yeah. In that way, he reminded me a lot of Chief Willoughby because he has this bond with the main character and cares, but at the same time has this snarky relationship with them, and that that's a very good comparison between those two characters. Are a lot alike in that regard.
Well, and I think I've seen him play more than one role at this point, where he's able to kind of find that blend between being sort of ornery and mischievous with someone, but not taking it so far that it's mean. To the point that I don't feel like it's a spoiler. I mean, I'll put the thing up just in case. There you go, spoiler. But it's in the preview for the movie. So if you didn't watch the movie and you just watched the preview, you would still know this. But she comes in I just want you to know, because I feel like a grown up should know, I'm gonna kill myself. And he's not oh my god. No, he picks up a piece of paper. He's like, oh, how about how about that? I was just drafting my own suicide note. And, like, says this ridiculous, like, reads this whole note that he's making up off the top of his head at the moment. I mean, not really, it's scripted, but the character is. And it's like, because I get 32 fleeting minutes to myself, and they are repeatedly interrupted by the same badly dressed student. And it's something that if you read the line wrong, it's mean and hurtful, but he's able to kind of find the softness in it and the humor in it to be able to say things that said any other way would come across really mean and like bullying, and he says it in a fun and playful way where it just kind of keeps the banter going between them. And then, like, at the end of the conversation, he gives her a cookie. So, like,
I love, he gives her the cookie, and she's like, why? And he's, well, you're my favorite student. And she takes the cookie, and he goes back to sit down. She's like, am I really your favorite student? And he said, well, it sounded like the right thing to say.
Not really telling you. But no, Eve, I agree. There need more teachers like him. But also in this day and age, there can't actually be teachers like him because all it would take is a student taking the things he say the wrong way, and then he'd be in trouble and, like, would lose his job.
Well, yeah,
so
just the fact that he went to pick her up at the restaurant would be considered.
I'm so glad I have to spoil everything up.
Yeah, sorry.
I am going to take the spoiler thing off now, though.
Okay.
Just because I can.
Spoilers.
But I really enjoyed his performance in this role, and I genuinely can't imagine a great many other people who could pull this role off quite so successfully. Like, I just think the casting was very good for this role. I mean, it's a very Woody Harrelson role.
Yeah.
I will say, unfortunately, that it's a very Woody Harrelson role. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got a knack for, like, that kind of humor and that sort of, like, line delivery and stuff. And so I wouldn't say that he really, like, went out of his comfort zone very much with this.
No.
But I do, when we get into spoilers, I have, regarding the characterization related to Woody Harrelson, I have a little more to say that I can't get into until spoilers.
Well, for me, I enjoyed this movie, like I said. It was not because of Woody Harrelson. Like, I didn't mind his character, like, it was good, but the movie fascinated me because of the Nadine character. I mean, that was my hook. And I being able to say, you know, I had those same kind of thoughts at one point. Like, I know where she's coming from. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that...
Stuff.
I wouldn't go out of my way to watch this again because of Woody. I would go out of my way to watch this again because of her.
Yeah. Well, and I think also, like, beyond just her, I think this is one of those cases where this is a very well-written movie.
Yes.
I think the writing has been exceptional. And I mean, not just for her character, but I think all of them. You've got this very complicated relationships, and I think with teenage dramas in particular, it's having trouble finding the words I'm looking for here. It's very easy to go that little bit too far into melodrama. Which is like, we both are fans of Vampire Diaries. Hate to out you in public like this, but he totally digs Vampire Diaries too. To the point that we were discussing honeymoon locations. He's like, we could always go to Georgia. And I was like, why the hell would I want to go to Georgia for our honeymoon?
To be fair, this was when the show was still filming.
We could tour where they're filming Vampire Diaries. I was like, why?
Because it's well known that while the show was still going, the actors, the cast, hung out in the town while they weren't shooting. So, like, you could go to the bar and sit down next to Nina Dobrev or...
I don't care.
and they would hang out with you. I don't know.
It's not my thing. In fact, if I recognize an actor or somebody famous in public, I like literally go the other direction because I do not want to bother them because I know nobody goes the other direction but me.
Some people like it though.
I don't want to know that they like it either because then I would lose some respect for them.
That they like the attention, that they're happy to celebrate with their fans.
I'm not a big fan of attention seekers.
No. So, well, Kevin Smith is definitely an attention seeker. But there are many people who are celebrities who like to bond with their fans.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that decision for them.
But Leonardo DiCaprio is not one of them.
If I recognize somebody, I'm never going to be the one that's like, oh my God, I love you, you're so great.
No. You don't do that, but you respectfully talk to him, though. I mean,
no.
I know I told you the story.
I will not instigate that conversation.
I know someone who went in Cedar Rapids. It was snowing out. She went by herself to a Chinese restaurant and was sitting there eating. A gentleman walked in, sat down not too far from her. They were the only two in there. She didn't pay attention to who it was. The waitress eventually came over and said, the gentleman over there wants me to ask if you wanted to join him since you're the only two in here. And she looked over and it was Ashton Kutcher.
That was cool.
So, because he's from Cedar Rapids.
See, that's cool. But there are some that are like, hi, oh, look at me. So I will admit that part of my mentality is like, I don't want to intrude on their life. And part of it is trauma. Let me tell you the story of the one time I asked somebody for an autograph. I asked somebody once. We had gone to New York. I was like 10 years old. I went on vacation with my family. We saw a couple of Broadway shows. It was my first time seeing Broadway shows. It was the drug. I went to New York and I've been addicted since. Yeah, New York is amazing. And we will move back there, damn it. So we had seen Mickey Rooney in a show the night before, or like a couple days before or whatever. And then we went to Phantom of the Opera, and he was sitting a couple rows in front of us in the audience. And so at intermission, I took my program over to him, and I was like, I'm like 10 years old, by the way. I am a child. I'm not an adult. I am a child. And I walk up to this man, and I say, sorry to bother you. I'm a really big fan of Pete's Dragon. Could I get your autograph? I was so nice. And he goes, do you have a pen? And I was like, I'm a 10-year-old in a dress. Like, I don't have a pen. Like, I mean, if you're a woman, you know, carrying a pen is like impossible. They don't put pockets in women's clothes.
Sure, let me pull that out.
And I was like, let me go ask my parents. I'm sorry, I forgot it. And he goes, what do you want me to sign it in blood? To a 10-year-old. And I was like, I was mortified. I was embarrassed. He was very aggressive. I was kind of scared. And like the poor guy sitting behind him took pity on me because his face was even just like, what the fuck? And so he's like, I have one here. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. And guys, just so you know, like, don't automatically call every girl sweetheart because like it's actually kind of demeaning. But this was the 90s. So he hands me the pin so that I can hand it to Mickey Rooney. And Tegwin knows she was there, real ass. That is the one and only time I have ever asked a celebrity for an autograph. It has not happened since I was 10 years old. And it was because at 10, I didn't understand why he was so mean. And so I talked to my mom about it. And she was like, you know what? It's his night off. He probably doesn't want to be bothered. He was
also like as old as the dinosaurs and been putting up with this for 90 years.
And, you know, married a few dozen times.
So
I'm sure that age had nothing to do with it. But rest in peace. But yeah, so the conversation though about it was very much geared towards like, you know, it's his night off and maybe, you know, he just didn't want to be bothered. And yeah, but he was nice to my brother. So my brother ran into him in the bathroom. He was nice to him. Like, literally ran into him. Or rather, my brother ran into him going through the door. Like, bam. It's a funny story.
Is that what's...
So, yeah, but because that was the conversation, now I've become, like, hyper attuned to the fact that, like, I am not going to be the person. If a celebrity is like, hey, join me for a drink, that's them telling me that they're comfortable with that interaction. But I'm not going to be the one to approach them.
Sometimes I talk, sometimes I don't.
You're not a celebrity.
No. To the celebrity.
Oh, I was like,
I've been in contact with many of them.
Oh.
When I was standing next to Vin Diesel, I didn't say a word. Other people,
I feel like I could probably manage like a hey in passing, and then if they want to go beyond that, they can respond with more than hey back. Like, I would, like, I guess, make sure that they know, like, I'm open to it, but I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, like, you're Vin Diesel. Cool, nice to meet you. I like this movie you did. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Even if I like a movie he did, which I totally recommend. Bloodshot, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Bloodshot, yep. Watch Bloodshot, super good.
And the Fast movies. I can't believe I actually said that, but I enjoyed them.
You have to say that because Trey's watching.
No.
See, and now that I've said that, I have cast doubt. That's all it takes. No, really, he genuinely enjoyed them. He's now trying to get me to watch them. And I was like about to say yes, and then I found out there were 10 movies, and I was like, that's quite an undertaking. We gotta get back on track. It's almost break time. So, performance like or dislike. I liked his performance as Mr. Bruner.
Mm-hmm.
I will discuss it more in spoilers. But we like to compare.
Yes.
So far we've seen him in Shock and Awe playing Jonathan Landy. And in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which you did not...
Yeah, I see that.
Okay. Where he plays Chief Willoughby.
Yes.
And I like the comparison that she made to Chief Willoughby.
Yeah.
That kind of like you have this interesting like banter with the character, between the characters, but there's like something more and deeper that goes there. And did you have watched now how many Marvel movies?
Yeah, that's true.
I feel called out.
More than any Star Wars. Of course, Star Wars doesn't feel the need to release 5 movies a year.
I was going to say there's more movies than there is of Star Wars. So, like, if you've seen them all, then, yeah, by default, you've seen more than Star Wars. But I like Marvel more than Star Wars. Marvel's better than Star Wars. You have yours, I have mine. Never thought I'd say this when I was younger, but I would watch Chris Evans over Harrison Ford. I know, crazy, right?
Wait. Today or Harrison Ford? Because watching Harrison Ford break his leg every other movie, that doesn't interest me either. I mean, they've already had to suspend filming of Indy 5 because he broke his leg.
Oh my God. Yeah, but also, like, okay, so in his defense, when you break a bone and it heals, you are more likely to break that bone again.
But he broke it doing Expendables. Then he broke it doing Star Wars.
But if you keep, like, it's just gonna, I mean, it's gonna keep happening because the leg is injured.
Sure.
But yes, I would even say the older, because Harrison Ford plays Harrison Ford. His characters, he has a few, like, outliers that are different, but his characters are not, like, that different. And
I would say that Han Solo and Indiana Jones may be the same, but Witness, Presumed Innocent,
haven't seen that.
Regarding Henry,
Haven't seen that. Oh wait, is Regarding Henry the one where he got shot in the head?
Yes.
Oh, I have seen that. That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I mean, no one's counting 6 Days, 7 Nights.
I haven't seen that.
But no one did. That's okay. Mosquito Coast. Thank you.
Okay.
The Fugitive.
Okay. I do like The Fugitive. I would say of the movies I've seen of Harrison Ford's, I would still go Chris Evans over Harrison Ford. But I've seen Chris Evans play like so many different kinds of roles at this point, and he just keeps getting more. Like Captain America has been huge for his career because he's now getting like a more diverse casting, which I think is fantastic, and I'm really excited to see some of the stuff that he's got coming up because it's so different than other stuff he's done.
All I ever, up until the mystery, Knives Out, which was fantastic. All I ever saw in him.
Show. As soon as we hit any actor that was in that movie, we'll be doing Knives Out on this show. That movie was amazing.
All I ever saw him in was superhero movie or comic book movies. That's it.
Well, he did comedies and rom-coms for like a really long time, and then he did like Fantastic Four, and then more rom-coms. Because
the only rom-com I ever remember him in is Not Another Teenage Movie. That was his first.
That's not a rom. I mean, that's a comedy.
Yeah.
Cast by the Scary Movie guys, right?
No, but
same kind of movie.
Thing. Yeah. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim.
But then he did a bunch of Nanny Diaries was a rom-com. At least I think it was. That's what I remember it as rom-com. Like I think he was the romantic interest in that. But he's pretty, and so he gets cast in the pretty roles. And it's not since after doing Captain America that he started getting more diverse casting, which has been cool. So he did like Knives Out, and he's got the one, it's a biopic about the people that were helping folks evacuate something resort. What is the name of it? Jesus, it's gonna drive me crazy. He's in a biopic. He's got some new stuff coming out that is like all very like much more different. So I'm actually really excited about what he's got coming at this point. I can't think of titles of anything right now, but
what's the DC one he's in?
The DC one.
Yeah, he was in a DC movie.
I love that you think that like that was the clue.
Because he's on the elevator. I think he's dressed as a pizza man. And
The Losers.
Yes.
I didn't know that was DC.
Yeah, that's a DC comic
Losers is
series.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love The Losers. That movie is so underrated. No, but he's so I guess part of the comparison would be, and this is like way off course here, like we're over break time now.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is kind of done. The stuff
Shut your mouth.
Like he's kind of done. Like there's not so much that he can still do at this point.
He's played Indiana Jones for the fifth time at 87.
What he's known for is movies like Indiana Jones. And so, yes, he's got some other stuff out there, but I'm not going to see anything new from him, whereas Chris Evans is still, like, he's just kind of hit that point where he's getting all of these, like, really diverse roles. And so, I would go Chris Evans over Harrison Ford because I've got more to look forward to with that. I've got a great body of work to start with, and then more on the way. Yeah, and I can't wait to see all of it because it's going to be amazing.
After Crystal Skull, I don't think anybody's looking forward to Indy 5.
And I will admit, I fell victim to the pretty boy stereotype because I did not know he could do more than just like action movies and rom-coms. And then I saw Knives Out and I was like, oh my God, that asshole. Yeah. And like from there on, I just like, Jesus, this guy is like way better than people realize because everybody is like, oh, he's so pretty. And like, oh, we like him because of his body. I'm like, he's a freaking fantastic actor.
But you do, okay, I won't go there. That's fine.
I will admit he's attractive. Can you deny? I mean, he's freaking built.
You always, this is America's butt or something like that.
It's from the movie.
Oh, really?
That's not my line.
It's a meme, I know.
It's America's ass.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's from the Avengers movies.
Okay.
I haven't
See
seen
how many
Puncture.
times I've
I have not
watched
seen
them.
Puncture, but it's on my list because it's on Amazon Prime. I will be watching it soon. It's like in my list. Yeah, it's America's butt.
Okay.
Well, actually, they say ass. I think they say ass in the movie. America's ass.
Okay.
And he literally like walks by a picture of himself in the hallway and he goes, that is nice ass. Or I think he goes, it is America's ass.
Which one was this?
So when... Is it when they go back? Because I know when he sees the picture, he's in like Avengers Tower. And that got destroyed when Loki attacked New York. So... I think it's when
Avengers
they go...
3. Okay.
Is it Avengers 3?
I've only seen it once.
And I just watched all these recently with my daughter, and there's too many, and I can't remember what happens when. I just remember that things happen. I'm good at remembering like 3 seconds before it happens, so that I can be like, pause! Alright, let's talk about what's about to happen.
Honestly, the only thing I remember about Avengers 3 is finally getting the whole love for this Spider-Man. Because I didn't like him, and then when he's like,
yeah, he thought
Mr. Stark, and starts fading, I was like, oh, okay, so... But I'm not a fan of him as an actor. I don't get the hype. You know this. Don't look at me like that.
I know. It's just weird to hear every time you say it. That's where he notices his butt. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate the help. Yeah, that's not me. That was literally a line from the movies.
Okay.
You thought it was me this whole time?
No, I know it was a meme.
I am much wittier
No. I knew it was a meme.
Oh, well, I invented the meme. Didn't I tell you that? Compared to Jonathan Landy, I think it's interesting because Jonathan Landy is more of like a biopic role where he's stepping into the shoes of somebody that actually existed. Mm-hmm. Although I don't know how much they characterized those...
Off the real people.
Yeah. And so it's difficult. I'm not familiar with the real people, and that would require a lot of extra research that I don't have time for. So,
well, and we both agreed that that movie wasn't necessarily accurate. Like, it has enough there for you to go, huh, and like be interested to further research. Mm-hmm. But it was
definitely very weighted to one side.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's difficult to compare. It's always difficult to compare like a biopic role to a more creative role.
Yeah. Which was our issue last week because Chief Willoughby was written to be so like amazing, and then you had his performance of that written work. It just whereas
it's a high bar.
Yeah.
Chief Willoughby is, I would say, it's still my favorite role of his. Although I really enjoy Mr. Bruner's sense of humor a lot.
I'm still missing White Men Can't Jump. Sorry we couldn't get it on the thing. Maybe if we get to...
Well, yeah, because we talked about two other actors that if we did them, we would do it. So
Wesley Snipes or Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
2012, most Woody Harrelson role.
2012, like the movie 2012.
Yeah.
About the end of the world.
Yeah.
I heard that was like a really fun like action movie though, even though it was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, it's a Roland Emmerich film.
That doesn't mean anything to me. Just because Trey's here doesn't mean you can now start like talking as if you're talking to Trey.
Okay.
I still don't know anything about movies.
Okay, so Roland Emmerich did Independence Day.
Oh, okay.
And Day After Tomorrow. And
the world films.
The Matthew
like
Broderick Godzilla.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he does these high action disaster movies.
Yeah, I have not seen 2012. I want to though.
He plays Woody. He plays Woody. he plays this hippie up in the mountains who's
that's cool.
Been saying this was going to happen forever.
Not every role has to be like some kind of epic thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with people like just doing a fun movie and basically playing a caricature of themselves. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Staged, and all that is David Tennant and Michael Sheen yucking it up about like being these absolutely exaggerated versions of themselves, and it's hysterical.
Yeah.
It's very funny, but like Is it like some super epic role? No, they're playing like ridiculous versions of themselves.
Yep.
David Tennant doesn't stop whining. Michael Sheen is extremely egotistical.
Yep.
Are they actually like that? I don't know. We're not close personal friends, but it's so exaggerated. I'd be surprised.
All right. So.
We are. I'm gonna say let's take a break.
Okay.
Get up, stretch your legs. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Self-care.
Self-care. Get refresh your drink. If you don't have a drink yet, get a drink. I'm gonna drink some of mine. My mouth is getting dry. And we'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm gonna if my button works right, it should pop up the preview for the next movie, so you guys can watch the preview over the break as well. No,
That's some high quality H2O.
Don't do that. The smacking noise gets picked up on the microphone.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I can't take him anywhere. That's why we do the show from our bedroom. Sitting in bed. That's the real reason. Did you know? All right, we'll see you guys in 5 minutes. I'm reaching for the mouse, but I don't need to. I just got to find the right button. I'm going to hit the button. Hopefully it mutes us. Hey guys, we are back. I think if we did things right, yes, there we
Nanu.
are. What is with the nanu every time? You think you're funny, don't you? We are officially in Spoilerville, so we're not gonna hold back anymore. So we wanted to talk. I'm going to go back to the beginning here because there were a couple of things we wanted to hit and come back to, like Irwin. Oh, and Mona and Irwin. We couldn't really talk about. Oh, we just need to go back. So we had talked about a house of cards falling down, and basically what that is that Nadine's friend Krista falls for her brother Dorian. And Nadine,
in a very shocking way.
Nadine just can't really deal with that.
Nadine has spent her life in her brother's shadow, and although she always had the power to kind of do something about it, she just kind of blamed him and didn't ever try to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she doesn't really like him. She loves him, but doesn't really like him. And so when she wakes up to find Krista in bed with him, that kind of shatters her whole world because it's her best friend and her brother.
And her only friend.
Yeah, only friend.
And she tries to be okay with it. She does make an effort. It's not like she goes instantly into, like, hating her.
Yeah.
She makes a small effort to go along with it. They go to a party together, and that's pretty much the end of it. Is they go to this party together, and Nadine gets really upset that Krista is over meeting Darian's friends and complimenting their outfits and agreeing to play beer pong with them, which is all like kind of normal social stuff, but because she's not spending that time with Nadine, and their relationship has become very unhealthy at this point, and Nadine just can't quite deal with the fact that Krista is making other friends and having a life that's bigger than just her. And so that's sort of that house of cards that falls down. With Darian, I had commented earlier that, did you have anything more with Nadine, Krista? Do you want to hit?
No, I think that's yeah. I think we got it.
I'm trying to hit this stuff because we always forget things. Then we end the stream and we're like, oh shit, we were gonna go back and talk about this, and then we forgot. So I'm trying to like work our way through it. Like the next thing was Darian. We said that I was saying that he's a very important character because he reminds you that what you see on the surface is not who the person is. And more specifically what that is he, like Nadine doesn't recognize that he does a lot to take care of her and her mother. When her mother gets upset, basically since their dad died, their dad was really the one that would handle them. And they even talk about that at the beginning of the movie, that he's the one that knows how to calm Mona down. He's the one that knows how to calm Nadine down.
Yep.
And kind of work them out of themselves and into the world, essentially. And Darian basically is kind of thrust into that position when the dad dies, and does it.
Yeah.
Very well.
He
more with the mom than with Nadine.
To the point where he's sacrificing his own needs, wants, whatever. I mean, he even says at one point that how much she says something about him having his perfect life, and it must be good to be so happy, and he's like, you're right, I love it. I love taking care of mom, and I taking care of you, and I love doing all these things for you, and doesn't he say at one point, I hate the fact that the only person who makes me feel I can breathe at all, being with the only person that makes me feel I can breathe at all hurts you so bad. So basically saying that Chris is the only one in the world that makes him feel good, and if he's with her, then he breaks his sister's heart.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So while at the beginning, when you first see him, he seems like that just obnoxious older brother. Everything comes easy. He's got good grades. He's on the soccer team, I think is what it is. So he's a jock, and he's smart, and got tons of friends and, really has it made in terms of high school status, I guess. But that's all Nadine sees, is that, and not anything else that's going on. And Krista does see a deeper part of him, and likes that person, and they get along, and it's going very well. Why are you...
Hydrate,
yes. Mona, we really couldn't talk about much. So Mona, she is a very self-involved person. I did say before that I think she's the kind of that projection of what Nadine could become.
Mm-hmm.
I did also want to say that she does evolve a little bit as well. At the end of the movie, they've had this huge fight.
Mm-hmm.
Nadine's taken the car without permission or license or really being a very good driver at all. And the mom is freaking out, and she sneaks out of the house in the morning before the mom gets up to see her. And so Mona, the mom, is like
frantically trying to find her.
Make sure she's alive or kill her. One of the two, probably both. And Nadine just texts back. I don't remember what the mom says. Where are you? Answer. Oh, she kept calling. That's what it was.
And so to get her to stop calling because she's about to watch the movie, she just texts her mom, "I'm safe."
Yeah. But that's a really important way to text it, though.
Sure.
Like, she's not texting, "Stop calling me," or anything like that. She just texts back, "I'm safe." And I like Kira Sedgwick in the scene that follows, where she is trying to figure out
how to respond,
what to say back.
Yeah. Because
she's angry, but before she hits send, she rethinks.
A few times.
And
the whole time she's doing it, I'm thinking in my head, just say okay. Just say okay.
I was too.
Yeah. I
was like, you've got the important information. She's safe. Like, deal with the rest later.
Yep.
For now, like, that is important. You don't know where she is, but you know she's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So she, and she does eventually.
Yes.
But you see, like, it's a somewhat typical scene in the sense that, like, you write the message and then erase, and then write the message and then erase, and then write the message and erase, and then finally write the message you're going to send and send. But it's kind of cutting back and forth to her face, which is why I said I really like the way Kira Sedgwick plays it, because you can kind of see the worry is already on her face, but the words that are coming out are angry, because it's call me immediately,
yeah,
or you better, something, and she didn't finish that one, so I don't know where it was going, but probably you better answer your phone right now or something like that. But the face is worry, and she's like biting the end of her nail and then typing and then biting the end of her nail. Like, it's probably the most emotional scene we see of that character in the movie. But
it's also hitting a repetitive beat, because throughout the movie, Nadine's been doing this, where she types something out either on her computer or on her phone, and then backs it up because she's developed a crush on the local bad boy. And at one point, she finally has this whole text written out. "I'm so in love with you. You're beautiful.
A bunch of inappropriate things.
I want your lips on my nipples," or something like that.
"I want your mouth on my tits," I believe
That's what
was
it
the
is.
line. Yeah. We can do it in the Petland stock room.
Yeah. I want your penis inside me. Like, she just goes on and on with all these, like, crass things.
And it's just like each one gets worse.
Yeah, it just keeps getting worse. It just
like,
keeps
oh God,
getting worse.
Stop typing.
And she's like, "I can't send this," and she goes to delete it and accidentally hits send.
Yeah, whoops.
And so that's why she runs into Mr. Brewer and says, "I'm gonna kill myself," and he's like, "Wait, just."
And then she lets him read the text.
He's like reading the text out loud, and he's like, "This isn't so bad."
I love it.
And then he gets to the tits part, and he's just like,
this is actually kind of sweet. "I want to give you head. I want your mouth on my tits." Just the way he plays it is so. It's very Woody Harrelson. Like, it's just good the way, because he's good at that like look through the top of the eyes kind of look, right? So like you can kind of see his head keep tilting with every one, and it's very good. I enjoy every part of that. But yeah, so you're saying it's hitting a repetitive beat because it's something that Nadine does as well.
And I feel like how you were saying that Mona is what Nadine could become. Mm-hmm. And I think that they then reverse it at the end because Nadine's the one who's growing. Mm-hmm. And so Mona's then like starting to grow.
It's kind of that glimpse of, and that's why I said she does something at the end that I really like.
Yeah.
And that is that she erases the angry messages and just says, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the message that she does finally send. And it's kind of that glimpse that, okay, so she's going to change too. Like she's not past that point where she can make that change as well. Okay. So we did not talk at all about Erwin.
Yeah.
And we need to, because it's really difficult to describe the kind of awkward that Erwin is. He's constantly like repeating sentences, but he's also
he's flustered because he's got a crush on Nadine, and that's apparent from the first moment he opens his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I
like your sweater.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it? Looks good on
and so he just keeps like being very awkward and saying the wrong thing and then trying to take it a step back, and they end up developing this really good friendship, and then she realizes that
she does not realize that he likes her.
Yeah. Until the end.
Like for a very long time. Yeah. And I think it takes her experience with the bad boy to kind of help her see it, because she's already there before she goes to the film festival.
Yeah.
I will say the only kind of irksome thing for me about Erwin is that he's kind of a stereotype in terms of the awkward artist, where they're a little awkward in person, but they speak through their art. It's very done in stories and films and TV. You get these sort of quirky artist types, but if you really want to know what's going on inside, you just got to look at their art. I'm not saying it's not true.
I didn't get that at all. I think she got that, but I didn't get that from him.
No, I mean, because nobody is who they are on the scene, who they seem on the surface in this movie. Yeah. Nobody is, except Nadine, but you're following her kind of throughout, so there's less surprises with her. But it is something that is done a lot in stories, and so that's sort of irritating. It's easy. It's easy to go the route that's already been written. But I will say that the guy who plays him, though, it's odd to say that it seems very natural for him to just constantly be starting his sentences over or rephrasing them, or like you ask a question and then you realize the question is stupid, and so then you excuse the question and then you ask a different question and then you realize that question is also stupid, and then you that's sort of like running and running and running and running of the mouth where nobody can ever reply. And it's interesting because he does it, but also Nadine does it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Are we doing that thing where we're catching again? I just noticed it. Has that been happening a lot?
I haven't noticed it till just now.
Okay. Yeah, we're in the red. It's angry. Damn it.
We're almost done. Let's push on through.
Hang in there, OBS. You can do it. So
the show must go on.
Wow. So what was I gonna say? But his character is really interesting because they are awkward. Okay, that's good to know. They're awkward in similar ways that are very complementary to each other.
Right.
And so while if he were to talk to other people the way that he talks to Nadine, they might brush him off as weird and maybe a little creepy because his timing on going for the kiss is weird as hell. And but Nadine is also like has similar problems, I guess. I don't really want to call her problem because it's like a cute kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But she laughs. Like she finds it funny and entertaining, and it becomes something that they end up bonding over as opposed to something that drives them apart.
Yeah.
So he's like they fit together very well. But as with any romance written in a movie, they can't figure it out until the end of the movie. Okay, so the other thing was Mr. Bruner, and then we'll talk parent stuff, okay?
Okay.
Because I had so many things I want to say, but I was like, I don't know how to say this without spoiling everything.
Okay.
So the thing with Mr. Bruner that I want to say that, like all of the other characters, he is not what he seems on the surface. And I feel like that's a message that they just kind of drive home over and over and over and over throughout this movie. That, you know, just what you see on the surface is not who they are. Nadine literally tries to set him up with her mom. Because you must be alone, and my mom's alone. So, like, you know, whatever. You guys just, like, get together. Like, ask my mom out. She's too tightly wound. Like, ask my mom out. Do me a favor and ask my mom out. Well, he's got somebody.
Yeah.
And a baby and stuff at home, which you find out when he does give her his number, and he's like, look, if things like take the last period off, go get yourself some yogurt. Gives her money to go get a frozen yogurt, and he's like, oh, calm down, because she has sent this message to this boy and is like dying. She's freaking out. And he's like, look, take next period off, go get some yogurt. If things get worse, call me. So while he's giving her shit about being like, I'm gonna kill myself, he actually does the right thing. Like, he gives her some trouble, he keeps the banter up, but he gives her his number if things get worse.
Yep.
And so she does. Things go badly with the boy. I don't want to spoil every moment of the movie. So things go badly with the boy. We haven't really talked about him much, so I'm not even going to go there. But she leaves his car and ends up at this donut shop where she calls for help. She calls Mr. Bruner. He comes to get her and takes her to his house, where she meets his partner. And they don't really say if they're married or not. I don't really think it matters.
He's not wearing a ring.
He's not wearing a ring.
And she says at one point that, I don't know the whole story, but it will get better. I recently went through some horribleness myself, and look how it's turned out.
You hear that? I'm the face of hope. So, I love that line where he does the little, I'm the face of hope.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is like, he goes home and he's a totally different person. He's like gushing over the baby and being all silly with the little baby, the way you play with babies. Like, you don't play with babies by being like, oh, look, I wrote a suicide note of my own, child. So like, I like that they show every character, or all of the main characters at some point. You get to see that they're not necessarily who they are at school. I think it's most of them actually at school, because Mona isn't, like, we're only seeing her at home.
Yeah.
Whereas the others, like, you're seeing them kind of their school personas, including the teacher. Like, it's not just the students, the adults too. Like, the way your teachers are, it's not how they are at home.
Sure.
Like, I guarantee you, my 7th grade English teacher does not go home at night and go, sit down and be quiet and don't speak. If I hear your voice, you're getting detention. Like, I guarantee you she doesn't talk to her kids that way. She talked to us that way.
I don't know. I had a teacher for a mom, and we always hated it when she used her school jargon on us. If I hear the lows one more time.
I'm on her side with the lobe thing. In terms of brain development, she's 100% accurate.
Uh-huh.
It is the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
I have a degree in
That's
psychology.
fine.
I took all kinds of neuroanatomy classes.
That's fine.
Hubby hates me coming home with school brain. I bet. Well, and you're dealing with 5th grade, is that right? You're doing 5th graders? Yeah, it's... Well, and I'm a homeschooler, so I don't do school brain.
7th and 8th.
Oh, you're doing 7th and 8th? I thought you were doing 5th. Is it changed this year? Did you tell me you did 5th last year? Did you student teach 5th? Some point you did 5th grade. Tell me I'm not totally nuts here.
I would like to tell you that.
No.
But I would be lying. I would be doing you a disservice.
Oh, man. You said okay, so 5th has come out of your mouth at least at some point. That's the thing she said she'd never do, and that's the one that stuck.
That's interesting because I said I'd never teach K through 12, so here we are. Who's employed and who's not?
I swear I listen. Oh, man.
All right, let's keep going.
Now I'm trying to figure out who I know that's teaching 5th grade, because I'm sure I know somebody. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's talk family rating. This movie is rated R.
Yep, language, sexual situations,
drinking, underage drinking. I don't remember drugs, at least.
I don't remember drugs. Smoking, though.
Were they smoking?
Some of the people at the party were smoking.
Okay. Well, it might have been weed. I don't know. I didn't see that at all.
I didn't see weed. I just saw cigarettes. So.
Lots of explicit language, though.
Yeah.
There's also... I don't have the number up. Sorry. Hold on. Stall. More things parents need to know.
Parents need to know suicidal thoughts, obviously.
Damn it. You got there too fast. I'm looking up the number.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. It's an important one. All right, there is... Oh, I thought I turned my flashlight on for a second. I'm always accidentally turning the flashlight on my phone. Does anybody else do that? My cousin's wife teaches... That's it. I'm like, somebody teaches 5th grade. Apparently every teacher I know, because I've just lumped you all together.
They're all the same.
They're not, though. But that is why. I'm like, I'm sure somebody teaches 5th. Okay, yes. So they do actually joke about suicide in this movie. So here it is again. I mentioned this last week. If you or somebody you know is considering suicide or talking about suicide, the number for the hotline is 800-273-8255. Again, that is 800-273-8255. That is the number for here in the U.S. I do not know the number for other countries, but I promise you, if you Google it, you will come up with it. Just Google suicide hotline. If anybody is considering it, if you are considering it, you are important, you are wanted, you are loved. Please reach out. 800-273-8255. I'm going to have this number memorized eventually. It's important. It's important. It's an important thing.
So yeah, it's rated R, rightfully so.
It should be rated R.
I think that we do need a screen for that number.
I do need a screen for that number. I didn't know it was going to come up this much.
So
Jenny is also saying there's a self-harm app that's free to use and may help kids and adults.
I think that this is one of those movies older teens might be able to use to identify with and kind of get talking. I know that 1950s don't compare to today's youth, but for me, it was a cross between Rebel Without a Cause and Pretty in Pink, but something to get you talking about your teenage problems.
Yes. The moral of this movie is it's not all about you.
This is true.
I've known many teenagers in my life that need to see this movie. So just to go back a little bit, so the app that Jenny mentioned that is about self-harm and is free to use is called Calm Harm. I've not looked into this myself, but Jenny is an educator, and so I would trust her input on this.
All right.
But yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I think older teenagers, young adults, I definitely would feel like this movie is really, really good for young adults.
Yeah.
Because they are going to identify with like what's going on, because it's a pretty typical, I wouldn't say that Nadine's experience is a typical high school experience, but the setting is a pretty typical high school experience. And I think that like because of that, it's a very relatable story.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been awkward ever in your life, she's a very relatable character.
Another good one, Breakfast Club. It's always great for me as a teen.
I don't know that...
So.
I really like Breakfast Club. I don't know that it's as relatable in today's world. I don't know. I'm not a teenager today, so it's really hard to judge. It was much closer to my own experience, 20 years ago. So, oh, sorry. She says she's not used it. She's looking into it.
But I think you could use this as an experience for older teens, young adults. But as always, preview it first.
I need a screen that flashes that up. Preview first. Now that I've got these buttons, there's a world of possibilities. I know. Imagination. Oh, look, there's us doing it on the screen. We get to see it a few seconds after because we're watching when you guys are seeing it. So we're seeing the delay because there is a delay between when we do something and when you do something. It's actually something to protect streamers because when you're gaming, viewers will get on and see where you're at in games and then come and hassle you. So they have the delays in order to kind of prevent stuff like that. So that's why when you guys type something and then we don't respond for several seconds, it's just because you're responding when you're seeing it, but we've said that 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of delay. So you have to wait for us to respond and then wait that however long for you to then hear the response. So there's always a gap.
So is there anything you did not like about the movie?
I did not like the bright orange leopard print skirt. It was really ugly. And very orange.
I didn't like the blue jacket she's always wearing.
I love the blue jacket.
Looked like something out of 1982.
It did. It was like a total 80s. It's retro. Totally retro.
I do love the scene where she's on the porch at the party and there's somebody who's totally drunk there. And it's like, are you Darian's little sister? She's like, yeah. It's like, you remind me of that old movie, that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the little bald guy from It's Always Sunny. And they're the same but not. And she's like, twins. I love that movie.
Yeah, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger and you're the other guy.
Yeah.
That friendship went nowhere.
Yes.
Oh, high school sucks for everybody. I genuinely don't understand why people are like, high school was the best time of my life.
For some people it was.
They're
also now mowing your lawn.
Every time I hear people say that, I'm just like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry it peaked at 18.
Or that your life has just been so shit since that,
yeah,
you remember that as a good,
there are parts of high school I love.
Miserable.
I wouldn't have changed anything because wouldn't be who I am today, but there were some pretty shitty things about high school too.
There's some really shitty things about high school. Yeah. I think we're all in agreement that it sucked. So, high school sucks for everybody.
Well, unless you're the captain of the football team.
Including the people that don't realize it sucks. Until they get out of high school and realize how hard life is. Adulting is bad. I paid bills this week, guys. I'm in a mood. That's what I did instead of watching movies. I paid bills.
All right.
And that's what?
What?
We're homeschooling. I've been dealing with curriculum.
Oh, that's right.
We made the decision.
Sadly.
Yeah, we had the school lined up for our kids and everything. And we'd paid tuition because public schools around here are not fantastic in our school district. And so we found a private school that we really liked. It wasn't overly expensive. We were registered. We had our registration fees in. We had our first month's tuition in. We were all set to go. And then I think you guys know that we're in Texas. I'm not going to tell you where, but the Texas Education Association, the TEA, decided to be assholes and have basically said now that parents are not required to inform the school if children have COVID. And of course they wait until there's one that's actually like killing kids. Traditional COVID, not too bad on kids. Delta, really bad for kids, and not really sparing them at all. So now parents don't need to inform the school if children have COVID. The school does not need to inform the other parents if your child has been exposed to COVID. And parents are not required to keep their children home if they test positive for COVID. Stricter rules regarding lice than they do for COVID-19. Oh, Jenny, I'm sorry that I'm the one telling you.
Yeah, just came out.
Also, our governor has mandated that nobody can require masks.
Well, but he also tonight has requested all hospitals cease immediately any non-emergency surgeries to open up beds.
He does realize that the reason the hospitals can't do the non-emergency surgeries is because of him. And the fact that he made it so that nobody could require a mask. Except for the few businesses that are so huge they're doing it anyway and are basically saying, we'll take it to the Supreme Court if we need to.
Yeah.
Because they're so huge they can afford to do that. So we decided we're going to homeschool again.
Yep.
We actually just found out tonight that we are actually going to get our August tuition back, which is great. And yeah, the hospitals were already canceling the surgeries.
Right, but he's officially...
Well, he's officially
done it tonight.
Suggested.
Yeah.
Which means he hasn't done shit.
Yeah.
He's mandated that you can't require a mask, but he's suggesting politely that you cancel non-emergency surgeries.
Anyway, let's not get political.
Oh, I'll get political. Fuck you, Governor Abbott. You're an asshole. I used to support you even though I didn't vote for you. But you've lost it. Like, right. Literally. You've lost your sanity. Resign.
So overall feelings, anything else we didn't mention about the movie? This is a movie show.
I have so many feelings. Can't you tell? Rage! Rage against the dying of the night. That's with Kim. Kim must be your governor.
The night time
She's
is
done
the
all
right
kinds
time.
of stuff. Yeah. So we're homeschooling now. So instead of watching movies this week, what I've done is frantically try and figure out curriculum for the year because I'm completely unprepared. Yeah. You don't remember this part of 17? I'm so sorry that you did not have to be a teenager during a pandemic. I feel so bad for the kids. Like, it sucks for us, but I feel bad for the kids that are having to deal with this. Because they're the ones paying the price for stupid adults.
Sure.
It's ridiculous. Stop being stupid, adults.
You need to...
Unfortunately, none of the stupid adults are actually watching our show, so, like...
Yeah. If they would just pay attention.
Preach it to the choir.
As I discuss every Wednesday night, if only they'd listen to us, we could solve the world's problems today.
I have all the answers. Just call me. Yes, so year 2 of homeschooling. Very excited. It went so well the first year. I'm warming up my voice for all the screaming and yelling that is to come. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't really have anything else to say about this movie. Overall feel, I think we've already said, like, This movie is awesome. Definitely check it out if you haven't. My day is using the same backpack for the third year.
Daughter. Okay.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You find the backpack that works and you stick with that bad boy. Yep. I use things to death. Like, literally until there's holes. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I don't replace anything until I absolutely have to. You know that. Because you're all like, I have 1 million t-shirts. And I'm like, these t-shirts don't have holes in them yet. Like, I'm good. I don't need more t-shirts. Don't buy me clothes. Same thing with shoes. I'm actually to the point I have to replace my sandals now.
She didn't get to use it. Oh.
That's a fair point. Jenny's still using
so.
her high school backpack. Jenny's a lot younger than us, though. She's not that much younger, though. Yeah. Actually, speaking of holes, I have a sunburn. I don't think it shows up on camera. I have a little round sunburn right here. It's the most ridiculous little thing because apparently my shirt had a hole in it. I didn't know. We washed the car. And I was like, I did good. I got sunscreen. I wore my long sleeve, like UV protective shirt. And I was like, good to go. And then I have a sunburn on my elbow because there is apparently a hole in my shirt. I'm very on track. Why do you have that look on your face?
Because you're completely as far from track as
we're just chatting at this point. No, well, we're way over time at this point. Yeah. So, do you have anything else?
No.
So next week. I'll let you. Next week is Zim's birthday week.
Next week is my birthday. So, of course, for that week, we are doing Solo, a Star Wars story, which is available on Disney+. Also during the Mad Misadventures, I will be joining Mel and Paul for game shows.
All week.
So,
for birthday week. Yay,
so tune in and you get to see me play video games badly.
Happy birthday to you and to you. Although we'll wish you happy birthday next week.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Yes. So that is next week. Still to come this month. We are doing a Prairie Home Companion. And then our final Woody Harrelson movie, because we're doing Star Wars. I finagled my own situation here. Because we did not do this for my birthday month. So we will be concluding with The Hunger Games. And if you guys have been with us for a while, you know that that movie will also have our next actor in it. So in addition to Woody Harrelson, it will have whoever we are going to be covering for September. I forgot what month we were in for a second. I had to go August, September. September's next. Yes, I have been home for a long time. This pandemic has got to stop. I've lost track of what month comes next. If you're new to our show, that is how it works, is we focus on one actor every month. And then the last movie of the month will have both the current actor and then whoever we're going to cover next.
It's kind of like a 6 Degrees game.
Kind of like 6 Degrees, except we just keep going.
And who knows when we'll get to Kevin Bacon. Yeah.
If we do Kevin Bacon, then we get to do Footloose.
If we must.
We must. If we do Kevin Bacon, we have to do Footloose.
Okay.
You can't cover Kevin Bacon and not do Footloose.
Because we wouldn't want to do good movies or anything.
Footloose is a good movie.
If you say so.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Trey, have my back here.
He likes Footloose too.
Footloose rocks. It's amazing. Anyway, so the last movie we're going to do...
Footloose is awesome.
Thank you. I was like, what were we talking about before Kevin Bacon and Footloose? Oh, I was just explaining how the show works, because we do have a couple new people. So basically the last movie of the month, it's going to have, in this case, both Woody Harrelson and somebody else. And that somebody else is who we will be covering through the month of September. So that final movie is going to be The Hunger Games. Just the first one. We're not going to make you guys watch the whole series. We agreed. Initially, our plan was no big series of movies. Series isn't a word. No big series of movies. But we've changed that rule slightly so that it's okay to do it if we're doing, like, the first movie if it can stand alone.
Or one-offs, like in the case of Solo. Yeah. It's not part of
Star Wars, but not...
It's in the Star Wars galaxy, but it's not...
You don't have to watch 9 movies.
Yeah, it's not the big whole story. It's just a little side story.
So we will be doing Hunger Games last. It will have our next actor in it. Every week we give you guys a clue. So come every week to get all the clues, although we'll keep you updated.
If you guess it.
Yeah, if you think you know who it is, put your guesses in our Discord server. Our link is broken right now. I will fix the link tomorrow. It's on my to-do list because I discovered it was broken when I added it to our website. Ooh! We have a website. I don't know the address. We're going to have our own domain soon. It's not, you can't see it yet, but it's going to be, I think, maladjustedmindmachinations.com.
Which, we were just, one of the things that will be included.
Yeah, we're doing all kinds of new stuff. I'm excited.
So, how we open each show by giving a list of the shows and movies that we watched. At least the ones that I have seen throughout the week, will write mini reviews for y'all so that you can, if he's, Tetsuo, I would like to see a movie about a guy who turns into metal in Japanese with English subtitles. I will give you a review so you can see if it's really something you're interested in and go and check it out.
Yeah. So hopefully by next week we'll have the domain. We didn't want to commit to it until we had kind of tested out the hosting website that we were using. We didn't want to give them money until we knew we wanted to go with it. So I think we're going to try to do that this week. But also I'm frantically creating curriculum for first grade. So if it doesn't happen this week, don't shoot me. It's coming though. It's on the horizon. The day is coming. I will, however, tomorrow fix the Discord link on our About page on Twitch. So I'm sorry it doesn't work right now. It says the link is expired. It was supposed to be a non-expiring link, so I'm not really sure why that happened. I just have to go get a new link and put it in, and then we'll be good.
But just to review, so next week is Solo, a Star Wars movie. Then August 23rd is A Prairie Home Companion. And then...
That's not right.
That's not right. August 30th.
And then the last week of August, last week of August will be the Hunger Games.
Yes.
It'll link us to our new actor. And your clues so far are that the new actor is male and has a star on Canada's Walk of Fame in Toronto. It's a good clue. I like that clue. Zim's been coming up with our clues this month. He's doing good ones. I like them.
Yeah.
It's because it's his birthday week, okay? I agreed because of that. But also, I made him agree to Hunger Games before I agreed to doing Solo. I was like, if you get to do Solo, I'll get to do Hunger Games.
It's fair trade.
All right, and I'm super excited about who our next actor is. So I'm looking forward to 3 weeks from now when you guys find out who it is. But yeah, if you guys know who it is, or think you know who it is, or you want to guess, hop onto Discord and put your guess in.
Or social
media. Which you can find us at Machinations on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're always putting up clips and stuff from our show, from the game show, and we also give updates when we're going live so that you get that as well. Otherwise, we will see you next week right here to discuss Solo, a Star Wars story with the biggest Star Wars freak that I know. And this has been Monday Movie Madness. I'm Mel. This is Zim. We'll be back Monday, 8 p.m. Central.
And then Mad Misadventures, Mel and Paul play games live Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central.
Yes.
All right.
All right. You guys have a great week.
We'll see you same mad time, same mad channel.
See you on Monday. Take care. Have a great week.
Nanu.